Washington Times front page for the first day of August, Monday, August 1st, 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Twitter received a record number of legal demands for information about users' accounts last year, including a spike in government demands that targeted news publishers and journalists. The social media platform's transparency report showed legal demands on nearly 200,000 accounts from July through December of 2021, Ryan Lovelace reports. Demands from governments against journalists and news outlets rose 103% compared with January through June of 2021. The report said 349 accounts of verified journalists and news outlets around the world were subject to 326 legal demands. The United States accounted for a greater percentage of government information requests than any other country, with the FBI, Department of Justice, and Secret Service making the most requests. Big Tech's most ardent critics have gained momentum in pursuit of an antitrust overhaul to curb the powers of companies such as Amazon and Google. Ryan also reports supporters of the American Innovation and Choice Online Act say it would make measured and necessary changes to antitrust laws to combat Big Tech. The tech companies and their allies in Congress say Americans rely on and love their products and warn that the legislation would destroy them. The bill seeks to prevent online platforms with more than 50 million monthly active users, or 100,000 U.S.-based monthly active users, from putting their products and services ahead of different businesses if it materially harms competition. Minnesota Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar has shepherded the bill alongside Iowa Republican Senator Chuck Grassley. They revived the legislation in June in hopes of getting it passed this summer. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find our entire lineup of news, commentary, and sports podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. The Supreme Court delivered a significant boost to federalism with its ruling returning abortion decisions to the states, but court watchers say the justices' overall approach is more of a mixed bag. In each case, Alex Sawyer reports, the Republican-appointed justices who wrote the decision said they were adhering to original constitutional principles. The differing outcomes for states, however, from Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization to New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin, left some critics confounded. The justices, in a flurry of activity at the end of June, also bolstered state legislatures' authority to intervene to defend the laws that they enacted. The court ruled in favor of Republican-led states that sued to stop the Environmental Protection Agency from claiming powers to broadly regulate greenhouse gas emissions. The Biden administration says it's making sure pregnant teens crossing the southern U.S. border with Mexico are placed in states where they can obtain legal abortions if necessary. Stephen Dinan reports the administration has revealed in court documents it's reserving some space for pregnant teenagers, even if it means others end up in unlicensed facilities. Minors who come to the border without parents are called unaccompanied alien children, and under federal law and court rulings, most of them must be turned over to the Department of Health and Human Services for care while they await sponsors to pick them up. And finally, in the race for U.S. Senate in Arizona, two political newcomers lead Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich, who's struggling to find a foothold in the state's Republican primary. Seth MacLaughlin reports Blake Masters and Jim Lamon are ahead of Brnovich in current polling. Masters and Lamon have supported former President Trump's false claims that the 2020 election was stolen from him. The primary is Tuesday, with the winner moving on to face incumbent Democratic Senator Mark Kelly in November. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.